Tou-Can't, a little sister story by Brandon Todd. My big sister can tie her own shoes, but me, I too can't. It's very cute. She can make her own breakfast, I still too can't. My sister can even read her own books, and I just too can't. Until one day when she needs my help. It turns out there are things that I too can do. Maybe, just maybe, being a little sister is pretty great after all. That's really cute. Looks cool.
What We Devour. If you can't tame your demons, set them free by Lindsay Miller.
Interesting.
Sometimes you have to bite the hand that feeds you. Lorena Adler has a secret. She holds the power of the banished gods, the noble and the vile inside her. She has hidden her entire life, both from the world and from her past. She's content to spend her days as an undertaker in a small town.
Cool.
Okay. Marry her best friend, Julian.
King Julian!
She's content to spend her day. No. I can do this.
You can do
I
it.
can
You
do
can do it.
I'm just picturing him as an undertaker. I can do this. She's an undertaker. There's nothing funny about that. Come on.
There's nothing
Do you
It's a
doubt
very serious profession.
It is.
I know that.
She's content to spend her days as an undertaker in a small town. Marry her best friend Julian. Marry her best friend Julian and live an unfulfilling life so long as no one uncovers her true nature. But when the notoriously bloodthirsty crown prince comes to arrest Julian's father, he immediately recognizes Lorena for what she is. So she makes a deal. A fair trial for her betrothed's father in exchange for her service to the crown. The prince is desperate for her help. He spent years trying to repair the weakening door that holds back the vial, and he's losing the battle. As Lorena learns more about the door and the horrifying price it takes to keep it closed, she'll have to embrace both parts of herself to survive.
Cool.
Equal parts swoony and stabby.
Ooh. Oh, we got two of this one.
Ooh.
Yes. Slappyworld, 5th grade zombies by R.L. Stine. This is Slappy's world. You only scream in it. When city kid Todd Coates moves from Queens, New York to live on a Wisconsin farm for a year, he's in for more than just hanging out with his cousins Mila and Skipper. Strange things begin to happen all around him, but Todd is the only one who sees them. Late at night, in the cornfields. Todd is convinced there is something of the undead variety out there. Will he be able to prove it to his classmates before school is dismissed permanently?
Ooh.
Spooky, spooky.
Never Not Ever by Patrice Alaminga. I know I butchered it. Let's see. Okay. Pascaline knows exactly what she likes. Not school. The big day is here, her parents say. You're gonna learn so many things. Never, not ever. Pascaline shrieks. Poof! Her shriek has shrunk them. Maybe with tiny parents tucked snugly under her wing, school won't be that bad. From internationally acclaimed picture book creator Beatrice comes the story of a little bat named Pascaline, who is tough on the outside, tender on the inside, and adorable all over.
That sounds really cute.
I didn't know that was a bat. I thought it was a very colorful squirrel at first. But knowing it's a bat is even better.
Yeah. The Shadow by James Patterson and Brian Sitz, because James Patterson's not writing alone anymore.
He's taking on apprentices.
Yes. Only 2 people know that 1930s society man Lamont Cranston has a secret identity as the Shadow, a crusader for justice. One is his greatest love, Margot Lane, and the other is his fiercest enemy, Shawan Khan.
Wait, what's his name? Lamont
Cranston?
Oh my gosh. So he actually wrote a book based on The Shadow, which was like an old TV show or radio show back in the 50s. Okay. Respect.
When Khan ambushes the couple, they must risk everything for the slimmest chance of survival. In the future. A century and a half later, Lamont awakens in a world both unknown and disturbingly familiar. The first person he meets is Maddie Gomes, a teenager with her own mysterious secrets, including a knowledge of the legend of the Shadow. Most disturbing, Khan's power continues to be felt over the city and its people. No one in this new world understands the dangers of stopping him better than Lamont Cranston, and that only the Shadow has a chance of succeeding before more innocent lives are lost. This actually sounds cool.
It does.
Normally, James Patterson is not my style, but this sounds pretty cool.
That might actually be the one James Patterson book I ever read.
Okay, Jimmy, you can have this one. This one.
Committed by Adam Stern, MD. Dispatches from a psychiatrist in training.
Ooh.
Summary. Yeah. Adam Stern was a medical student at a state school before being selected to train as a psychiatry resident at Harvard in one of the most prestigious programs in the country. His classmates were high achievers, many with Ivy League backgrounds, and faculty raved about this golden class, but the residents quickly realized how much they still had to learn about themselves and the challenges they faced in becoming psychiatrists. In his memoir, Stern pulls back the curtain on the intense, sometimes humorous, often demoralizing lessons he and his fellow doctors observed while studying the human condition, revealing the value of human connection.
Interesting. I think I want to read that one. That sounds cool.
Whoa.
It's just is really funny to me. Romance covers that have like the man on the front of them always amuse me, and he's like holding a gun.
Yeah, let me see him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And not only that, but he's a man with a past. By Mary Connolly. Had to. Ooh, Brothers in Arms Book 2. There's
Oh,
the
it's
first
not the first one?
Does his I don't think it matters. Because it seems like because the romance ones, it's like they're like about brothers or whatever, so like if you want to read about his brother falling in love, then you can, but this one's about the man with the past.
Okay.
Oh man.
I could argue, but I'm gonna let you win that one.
Falcon Hunt traveled west, compelled to start a new life by a surprise telegram that promised him an inheritance and a family in Wyoming. But shortly after arriving, he wakes in a river, completely unaware of who or where he is. As he tries to regain his memory, he meets two men who claim to be his half-brothers and the prettiest woman in the area, Cheyenne Brewster. Only trouble is, a few flashes of memory make Falcon wonder if he is already married. Falcon immediately draws Cheyenne's ire as he so closely resembles her no-good stepfather who swindled her out of inheriting her mother's property. But despite her resentments, she has to admit these newcomers' presence has some appeal, especially after Falcon steals a kiss. When shootings start happening on the ranch, it's clear someone is gunning for the Hunt brothers. Falcon and Cheyenne set out to find who is behind the attacks, but it'll take all their savvy and skill to deal with their enemies and the potentially forbidden love growing between them. This is dramatic.
First off, his name is Falcon.
I saw that and I was like, whoa.
Second off, he reminds her of her stepfather.
Okay.
There's so many questions.
I have so many questions. Cool.
By the way, we are not making fun of
No.
them whatsoever, by the way. It's just, with these strikes,
The
it's just
drama.
funny.
The drama of the romance is just...
Feel free to read what you want.
Yeah.
But we just find this a little bit funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Falling by T.J. Newman. James Patterson wrote a review on it.
Right, but I'm deeply fascinated by this one. What does that mean?
Stunning and relentless. This is Jaws at 35,000 feet.
What does that mean? There's a shark in the sky?
Sharknado.
Sharknado, that's what that is!
You just boarded a flight to New York. There are 143 other passengers aboard. What you don't know is that 30 minutes before the flight, your pilot's family was kidnapped. For his family to live, everyone on your plane must die. The only way the family will survive is if the pilot follows his orders and crashes the plane. Enjoy the flight. Oh, I've been wanting to read this so
Me
bad.
too. Me too.
Did you get an email about it from Goodreads?
Uh-huh.
You read the...
Uh-huh.
This person knows how to...
Grady Hendrix knows what's good.
He knows how to, like,
Whoa.
spread the word about his book.
Are you on his email list?
No, I just got it from Goodreads.
He's got an email list too, and it's awesome.
I listed it as interested to read,
Yes.
and I got that email from Goodreads, and I was just, this is the best, like, promotional email I've ever read.
Oh, yeah.
I actually read the whole thing.
So this is the Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, who also wrote, of course, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and My Best Friend's Exorcism was his other book, I believe.
And Horror Store, I think?
Yes.
I haven't read any of them, but
they're
I've
all
been dying
so
to.
good. Horror Story's insane. In horror movies, the final girl is the one who's left standing when the credits roll. The one who fought back, defeated the killer, and avenged her friends. The one who emerges bloodied but victorious. But after the sirens fade and the audience moves on, what happens to her? Lynette Tarkington is a real-life final girl who survived a massacre 22 years ago, and it has defined every day of her life since. And she's not alone. For more than a decade, she's been meeting with 5 other actual final girls and their therapist in a support group for those who survived the unthinkable, putting their lives back together, piece by piece. That is, until one of the women misses a meeting and Lynette's worst fears are realized. Someone knows about the group and is determined to take their lives apart again, piece by piece. But the thing about these final girls is that they have each other now, and no matter how bad the odds, how dark the night, how sharp the knife, they will never, ever give up.
So imagine being the final girl
of the final girl support group.
You do not want to mess with that girl.
No. Literally. I'm excited about this one too! Yay!
6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim.
I read a summary of that one too. I'm very excited. It looks so good.
Let's see, I'll read this one instead.
Shioriana.
Shiori?
Anma.
Yeah. Shiori Anma, the only princess of Kiata, has a secret. Forbidden magic runs through her veins. Normally she conceals it well, but on the morning of her betrothal ceremony, Shiori loses control. At first, her mistake seems like a stroke of luck, forestalling the wedding she never wanted. But it also catches the attention of Rayakama, her stepmother. A sorceress in her own right, Rayakama banishes the young princess, turning her brothers into cranes. She warns Shiori that she must speak of it to no one, for with every word that escapes her lips, one of her brothers will die. Penniless, voiceless, and alone, Shiori searches for her brothers and uncovers a dark conspiracy to seize the throne. Only Shiori can set the kingdom to rights, but to do so she must place her trust in a paper bird, a mercurial dragon, and the very boy she fought so hard not to marry. And she must embrace the magic she's been taught all her life to forswear, no matter what the cost. Okay, I like this because it's a retelling of that Irish fairy tale, The Seven Brothers.
Got a pirate on it.
Oh, whoa.
Time Villains by Victor Pinheiro. Cool. If you could invite any 3 people to dinner, who would they be? Seems like a simple homework assignment, right? Javi Santiago is trying desperately not to fail 6th grade. So when the annual invite any 3 people to dinner homework assignment rolls around, Javi enlists his best friend, Wiki, and his sister, Brady, to help him knock it out of the park. But the dinner party is a lot more than they bargained for. The family's mysterious antique table actually brings the historical guests to the meal. And while Kid Mozart and the Earl of Sandwich aren't too bad, Blackbeard the pirate is the worst dinner guest of all time. Before they can shout, "Avast ye mateys," Blackbeard escapes, determined to summon his bloodthirsty pirate crew. And as Javi, Wiki, and Brady try to figure out how to send the dread pirate back to his own time, they might have to invite other legendary figures to set things right again.
I'm gonna let you read that.
Oh, I see which one it is.
Ooh. We have always been here. by Lena. You're gonna have to help me with that one again. Gwen.
Helps just to pronounce it like Gwen.
Okay. Misanthropic psychologist Dr. Grace Park is placed on the Tou-Can't, a survey ship headed to an icy planet in an unexplored galaxy. Her purpose is to observe the 13 human crew members aboard the ship, all specialists in their own fields, as they assess the colonization potential of the planet Eos. Okay, I read that wrong. Her purpose is to observe the 13 human crew members aboard the ship, all specialists in their own fields, as they assess the colonization potential of the planet Eos. But frictions develop as Park befriends the androids of the ship, preferring their company over the baffling complexity of humans, while the rest of the crew treats them with suspicion and even outright hostility.
It's like Alien, but a book.
Shortly after landing, the crew finds themselves trapped on the ship by a radiation storm, with no means of communication or escape until it passes. And that's when things begin to fall apart. Park's patients are falling prey to waking nightmares of helpless, tongueless insanity. The androids are behaving strangely. Paranoia is closing in, and soon Park is forced to confront the fact that nothing, neither her crew, nor her mission, nor the mysterious Eos itself, is as it seems.
That is awesome, and I will be reading that. Thank you very much. That looks so cool.
Oh, come on, you know.
I do. I just might as well pretend for a moment. An Offer from a Gentleman, Benedict's Story by Julia Quinn. The third Bridgerton book. Of course. Sophie Beckett never dreamed she'd be able to sneak into Lady Bridgerton's famed masquerade ball, or that Prince Charming would be waiting there for her. Though the daughter of an earl, Sophie has been relegated to the role of servant by her disdainful stepmother. But now, spinning in the strong arms of the debonair and devastatingly handsome Benedict Bridgerton, she feels like royalty. Alas, she knows all enchantments must end when the clock strikes midnight. Ever since that magical night, a radiant vision in silver has blinded Benedict to the attractions of any other, except, perhaps, this alluring and oddly familiar beauty dressed in housemaid's garb, whom he feels compelled to rescue from a most disagreeable situation. He has sworn to find and wed his mystery miss, but this breathtaking maid makes him weak with wanting her. Yet, if he offers her his heart, will Benedict sacrifice his only chance for a fairy tale love?
Alright. Might as well.
We have two.
Yeah.
We have the large print and the
print.
regular people print.
Yes.
I know.
Regular people?
Maybe it's tiny. It is a little small. How large is large? Oh. I see.
Yes. Let me read that one.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy for her. She's living her best life with Mickey and an elephant. Are those sculptures she has in her house? I
have
hope
no
so.
idea.
I hope they are.
I have no idea. I need an explanation here.
Ma'am? Miss Steel?
Danielle Steele's 9 Lives. After a carefree childhood, Mary Margaret Kelly came of age in the shadows of grief. Her father, a dashing daredevil Air Force pilot, died when she was 9. Maggie saw her mother struggle to put their lives back together. As the family moved from one city to the next, her mother warned her to beware of daredevil men and avoid risk at all cost. Following her mother's advice and foregoing the magic of first love with a high school boyfriend who was too wild to feel safe, Maggie instead sought out all the things her mother had lost: a predictable partner, a stable home, and a regular paycheck. She chose to marry a dependable, kind man who was a reliable husband and successful accountant. Together they had a son and found happiness in a conventional suburban life. Until tragedy struck again.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now on her own, feeling a sense of adventure for the first time, Maggie decides to face her fears, setting off on a whirlwind trip from San Francisco to Rome, Paris, and Monaco. But when her travels reconnect her with the very same irresistible, thrill-seeking man she spent 30 years trying to forget, Maggie becomes terrified that rushing into love and sharing his life may very well end in a disaster. But ultimately, while Maggie tries to outrun her fears and painful memories of her past, fate will surprise her in the most astounding of ways as she walks the tightrope between danger and courage, and between wisdom and love.
The Good Lie by A.R. Torre? One of those?
I think it's Tor.
They're looking for the truth. They're hiding it, too. Psychiatrist Dr. Gwen Moore is an expert on killers. She has spent a decade treating California's most depraved predators and unlocking their motives. Predators much like the notorious Bloody Heart serial killer, whose latest teenage victim escaped, and then identified local high school teacher Randall Thompson as his captor.
She escaped? Did she go to the final girls?
Yes. Sorry. The case against Thompson as the Bloody Heart killer is damning and closed as far as Gwen and the media are concerned, if not for one new development. Defense attorney Robert Cavan is a still traumatized father whose own son fell prey to the BH killer. Convinced of Thompson's innocence, he steps in to represent him. Now Robert wants Gwen to interview the accused to create a psych profile of the killer and his victims and help clear his client's name. As Gwen and Robert grow closer and she dives deeper into the investigation, grave questions arise. So does Gwen's suspicion that Robert is hiding something, and he might not be the only one with a secret. Interesting.
XoXo by XoXo.
Okay, cool.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah. Nice. Title your book to go with your name. I think that's a great idea. I'm a fan.
Jenny didn't get to be an award-winning, classically trained cellist without choosing practice over fun. That is until the night she meets Jaiwoo. Mysterious, handsome, and just a little bit tormented, Jaiwoo is exactly the kind of distraction Jenny would normally avoid. And yet, she finds herself pulled into spending an unforgettable evening wandering Los Angeles with him on the night before his flight home to South Korea. With Jaiwoo an ocean away, there's no use in dreaming of what could have been. But when Jenny and her mother moved to Seoul to take care of her ailing grandmother, who does Jenny meet at the elite arts academy she's just been accepted to? Jaiwoo.
Of course.
Jaiwoo. Finding the dreamy stranger who swept you off your feet in your homeroom is one thing, but Jaiwoo isn't just any student. Turns out, he's a member of one of the biggest K-pop bands in the world.
Oh.
And like most K-pop idols, Jaiwoo is strictly forbidden from dating anyone. Wait, are they actually forbidden from?
I think so, yeah.
Why would anyone want to be in it? When a relationship means not only jeopardizing her place at her dream music school, but also endangering everything Jaiwoo's worked for, Jenny has to decide once and for all just how much she's willing to risk for love. Sucks to be you, man.
That's a whole bummer. Wait, I want to see what this book looks like without the... Because it looks... Yeah. Oh, very pretty. The Cellist by Danielle Silva, large print edition. Viktor Orlov had a long-standing appointment with death. Once Russia's richest man, he now resides in exile in London, where he is waging a crusade against the kleptocrats who have seized control of the Kremlin. His mansion is protected by armed bodyguards, yet somehow, on a rainy summer evening in the midst of a global pandemic, Russia's vengeful president finally managed to cross Orlov's name off his kill list. Before him was the receiver from his landline telephone, a half-drunk glass of red wine, and a stack of documents. The documents are contaminated with a deadly nerve agent. The Metropolitan Police determined that they were delivered by one of Orlov's employees, a prominent investigative reporter. And when the reporter vanishes hours after the killing, MI6 concludes that she is a Moscow Center assassin who penetrated the billionaire's formidable defenses. But Gabriel Allen believes his friends in British intelligence are dangerously mistaken. His search for the truth will take him to Geneva, where a private intelligence service is plotting an act of violence that will plunge an already divided America into chaos. Only Allen, with the help of a brilliant young woman employed by the world's dirtiest bank, can stop it.
I thought you said gremlin for a
The
second,
gremlin?
and I was like, oh, it's fantasy.
The Gremlin, you know.
We got Back on Track. It's a step into reading book with Paw Patrol. And a train is stuck. Can the Paw Patrol save it?
I hope so. Rocket has a sleepover. Rocket is having fun at a sleepover until it is time to go to bed. Will a story help Rocket fall asleep?
No, Kitty. No. Big Shark, Little Shark, and the Spooky Cave.
Ooh.
Big Shark is scared. Little Shark wants to know why. What will they find inside the spooky cave?
It's Elemental, The Hidden Chemistry in Everything by Kate Bieberdorf, sorry, not Katie. Have you ever wondered what makes dough rise? Or how your morning coffee gives you that energy boost? Or why your shampoo is making your hair look greasy? The answer is chemistry. From the moment we wake up until the time we go to sleep, and even while we sleep, chemistry is at work, and it doesn't take a PhD in science to understand it. Dr. Bieberdorf has appeared on TV programs from The Today Show to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, lighting the world on fire and changing the face of chemistry as we know it. In It's Elemental, she demystifies the fundamental principles of science that may have eluded you in high school and shows you how chemistry comes alive in everything we do. With wry wit and infectious enthusiasm, this entertaining guide will ignite your passion for science and change the way you experience the world. There's a review from Bill Nye on the back. What? Yeah! Whether you're baking a pie, washing your hands, or watching a sunset, Dr. Bieberdorf shows that science is everywhere, and it's fun. She's a proud nerd, and in the pages of this essential book, you'll discover the great wonder of chemistry. After all, it's elemental. Okay, Bill.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill! Don't judge us. You know you're doing it in your head. All right. Well, we got a lot of good titles.
So many.
Yeah. Come on by. Give it a look. This isn't all of them, actually.
No.
There's more to come.
Oh,
they
good.
just are released throughout the month. So come on by and see what else we've got.
Bye.